Power sanders can be real time savers on your projects if you use them right. When you're using any power sander, two things to avoid are underdoing it, that can take you forever to finish, and overdoing it, you can ruin your project. A belt sander spins these looped sheets of sandpaper like tank treads. It's a powerful tool, so it's best for rough work, and you need to know what you're doing. To install the sandpaper belt, you'll unlock the tension between these two wheels. Flip the tension lever, or on a spring-loaded model, push the front roller against your work surface. Slip the new belt on with the arrows pointed in the direction of the spin, and flip the release to put the tension back on the belt. Turn it on to see if the belt rubs or slips. If it does, adjust the tracking knob to keep the belt centered. The sanding action is linear, so you want to move in line with the grain and keep the sander moving at an even, smooth pace. Don't press down on the sander, let it do the work. Move in a zigzag motion. Let the sander go past the edge of the piece and overlap your next pass slightly. When you've got a narrow edge to smooth with a wide belt, be careful to stay level. Or if you have several edges, you can do what's called gang sanding. Clamp the boards together and sand all the edges at once. The belt sander works so quickly you can really make a mess of your project if you're not careful. If your sander has a variable speed, dial it down for delicate work. Take care not to round off the edge of your piece by tilting the sander. It helps to use a scrap of wood as a stop at the edge of your project. Gouges happen when the belt or sandpaper gets gummed up with dust, grit, pitch from the wood, and glue. Use clean belts and avoid sandpaper grits finer than 120. Keep the sander moving at all times so you don't sand in a depression. And keep it even on the surface so you don't create dips, bowls, or other imperfections. The belt sander is great for rough work, but it can be hard to get the hang of. So I wouldn't recommend it for beginners. For most DIYers, it isn't essential unless you find yourself with a lot of these types of tasks. Removing old paint, varnish, or stain can be time-consuming with a less powerful sander. You'd also use it for sanding large projects like solid doors or tabletops. But when you're using one to sand plywood and veneered boards, it's really easy to overdo it and ruin the surface. The belt sander would be your choice for that first pass on a really rough surface. You can also use it to even out cupped boards, or to take down a saw cut to your scribed mark. Here are some more helpful tips. Always wear eye protection, hearing protection, and a dust mask. Unplug the tool before changing the pads or emptying the dust collector so you don't hit the trigger accidentally. Check the trigger to be sure it's off before plugging it in, and never rest the sander on your project. For the tips, advice, and tools you need, visit your neighborhood Ace.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.